3 lifelong friends, 6 trusty balls, and endless NFL takes. Welcome to 3 Guys, 6 Balls NFL Podcast.
Welcome to episode 28 of 3 Guys, 6 Balls NFL Podcast. Today we are joined by a special guest, our first 2-time guest on the show, Lincoln Cook. He is one of our childhood friends, and he was supposed to be on a few weeks ago, but he ditched us for his children. And so he had to rain check that one. So he's joining us today.
Well, we might have a couple extra guests on this episode. You never know. But thank you for having me back.
Anytime. So as you guys may know, that recently Will and I have announced that we are leaving the Dallas Cowboys to find a new NFL team. And Avery is
left. We have left the Cowboys. It's not.
Yes.
No longer future tense.
Correction.
Yeah.
Correction. Will and I have left the Dallas Cowboys to find a new NFL team, and Avery is in pursuit of a favorite NFL team for the first time ever. And there is nobody more qualified to help us find a new team than one of our childhood friends who grew up with us. We played football together in the church gym. We watched football together, fantasy football. So there is no one more qualified to help us find a new team than our friend Lincoln Cook. And so he's going to start us off today by giving us some notes and thoughts on who he thinks we should pick as our new NFL team. He has been very excited to tell us. He's been texting me and letting me know that he has been eager to let us know his thoughts. So Lincoln, take it away.
Let that beaver loose.
Yeah. Oh, careful now.
Because you're eager, right? You're an eager beaver. So you let the beaver loose.
And
now.
as a resident Oregon State fan, I stand by that.
Oof. Rough
Okay,
year, buddy.
so when I heard...
Go Ducks.
Oh, it's a tough year every year, but we got baseball, and that's what's fun.
True.
Yeah. Okay, so when I heard this task, I got really excited for multiple reasons. One, because I got made fun of my entire childhood for being a Chiefs fan, living in Salem, Oregon, which didn't make sense, still doesn't make sense, but I stuck through it, and guess what? I found Jesus in the form of football Jesus, which is Patrick Mahomes, which has been amazing.
I was like, all right, where are you going with this?
I mean, I did find Jesus elsewhere. It just took some time there, too. That said, knowing you two both as Cowboy fans for my entire life, and like the first people I think of when I think of Cowboy fans are you two. Avery, you're a nomad. You do whatever you want. This divorce, I'm glad it's happening, and I'm scared of you guys returning. So, what my goal in this is... Hey, you never know.
Hey, Lincoln, I want to cut in here and say, I told them, I'm only doing this if this is a search for a wife, not a side piece. If they win the Super Bowl, if they become a new dynasty, must be great for that fan base. Not for you guys. You guys are not coming back.
Correct.
And they said, that is the goal. I'm like, all right.
And as someone who has experience in this field, let me tell you, when you can make the full cutoff, it's a lot better. So this is comparable to dating. We are looking for
divorced. I get it.
Yeah. Yep. Very good. Thank you, Will. Thank you. Will.
Oh my God.
Okay. So we're looking for a spouse here. We're not looking for a girlfriend. We're not looking for a long-time girlfriend or a short-term fling. We're looking for a spouse. So that is not just a couple of the qualities that we want in that new person. It's not just, pretty but no substance. We're looking for multiple factors leading into this. You follow me? So first, and I think this is one of the most important factors, maybe not necessarily the sexiest, but we're looking for a good organization. Coming from Jerry Jones, you don't want crappy leadership. You don't want crappy management. You want to have faith and confidence in the direction of the organization. A la the Chiefs and Clark Hunt, albeit their family is a little bit janky. He's stood by the Chiefs and will make the best decisions for the Chiefs, not to line his personal pockets like Jerry Jones. Second, we're looking for solid coaching leadership. So you want to, top down, right? Coach or organization, GM, all those factors. Head coach and coaching history is also important. You don't want an organization that has moved on from coach to coach to coach to coach. That's very frustrating. It is hard to find long-term qualities that you like in a partner when you're changing every 2 to 3 years. Next, we're looking for a younger quarterback to root for or get behind, whether that is a current franchise quarterback or just someone that you can at least root for and be excited about. When you watch the games, it's enjoyable to watch. And fourth, and I think this is a big factor for me because I'm typically not a front-runner, bandwagoner, I'm trying to look for a team that's like semi under the radar. So we're not looking for hype teams. We're not looking for teams that are already, knocking on the door of the Super Bowl. We're kind of looking for that next tier where they could make the jump. They have the structure. So we're kind of factoring in multiple pieces here. And the fifth piece is easy on the eyes. Are they nice to look at? Is it just going to be like, are you going to be excited to look at them and to watch them play every week? So we're making comparisons between dating and football here, but we're having a good time. Okay, so I listed out each division and all the teams in the division and started to cross them out one by one, taking away some of these factors. So the first factor, easy nose, we took off the NFC East. You guys were just there. You don't need to root for a team that you just actively rooted against for the last, 20 years, right?
That's about right.
So that takes off
yeah.
the Eagles, Giants, and Commanders, or Redbirds, or red-fared people, whatever you want to call them.
Say it for us, Avery.
Redskins.
Well, Avery can say that because his skin is red often.
It is currently still.
Currently,
You
actually.
can tell a little bit better.
Jeez, you are pale under there. No wonder you wear long sleeves all the time.
I'm the Washington Redskins now.
Next, we're going to eliminate the teams that are just as miserable as the Cowboys have been historically. That's going to eliminate a couple of teams that you could potentially throw into the, hey, if I really like them, you can date with them. However, this is, to me, a couple of red flags. We're going with the Bears, the Saints, the Browns, the Raiders, and the Jets. All those teams are historically as cursed in our lifetime. Why would you change from the Cowboys to one of those teams? It doesn't make sense to me. I also have the Steelers and Dolphins as question marks on this list because they're both, I don't know.
Steelers are my secondary team. They're forever my secondary team because of my wife. So they're
Very
already
good.
off.
Very good. And then I have the Panthers as a question mark. We'll swing back to them in just a second. We're also going to eliminate the hyped or two good teams right now, which eliminates the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, the Bengals, and the Eagles, which we already eliminated. So that's a big chunk right there. And then I have a list of kind of just like, I can't really recommend them for you guys, mostly just because I can't. And that's also the Steelers, the Patriots. They were too good for our childhood. I'm not going to recommend them. Sorry. Jaguars, kind of cursed, maybe on the list but I can't get behind that head coach that goes Duval. It haunts me every time I see him. And then also the Colts. Don't know why, just can't recommend them.
Danny Dimes?
If you like Danny Dimes, then go for it. Anthony Richardson, I don't know. So that leaves us with a cut down list. We have now the Texans, Titans, Chargers, Broncos, Vikings, Packers, Panthers with a question mark, Falcons, 49ers, Cardinals, Seahawks, and Rams. I wrote all this before your last week's episode, so I've factored in what you guys have said with that as well, which is going to eliminate the Seahawks, the Packers, the Rams, and the 49ers. Rams, their quarterback's too old, plus they won a Super Bowl semi-recently. 49ers and Seahawks are both too close to home. I'm not recommending those for you. And Packers, too painful. However, I'm kind of into the Packers this year, low-key.
They're looking good.
And then there's two other teams that I had to eliminate that I just don't believe in enough, and I don't think that they'll get over the hump. And I want you guys to be happy. As your long-term friend, I want you guys to be happy. So that also eliminates the Titans and the Panthers for me. I don't believe in Bryce Young, and the Titans, I don't know if I believe in their organizational leadership. So that leaves us down to 6 teams remaining. There's 2 that I can't recommend for Joel and Will because I'm a Chiefs fan. However, for some reason, I feel like it's right up Avery's alley. And that's the Broncos and the Chargers. They fit the bill. They are both Oregon Ducks quarterbacks, pun intended on fitting the bill. But they're AFC West, so I can't recommend them. Avery, you're welcome to do that. You're your own, Loose cannon over here. So that leaves us down to 4 teams remaining. Those are the Texans, the Vikings, the Buccaneers, and the Falcons.
Okay.
Part of me wants to eliminate the Buccaneers because they won a Super Bowl semi-recently.
Under a
However,
completely different regime.
That's
than
with
that.
a different
That's
quarterback,
not
though.
a dynastic kind of
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a,
they
we
weren't
got,
a
we got
dynasty.
Brady for the at the end of his career.
exactly. It was a one-off. So
Yeah.
the plus the Bucks were I watched the game last night. They were a lot of fun to watch. It's fun to
They
see Baker Mayfield almost break his leg and then get up to just talk crap to Will Anderson. You know, I respect that.
CJ Gardner Johnson.
Dude.
CJ Gardner Johnson.
Absolutely. So we got the Texans with CJ Stroud, a young quarterback, D'Amico Ryans, a solid head coach, and an organization that shipped away, albeit kind of on nasty terms, they shipped away Deshaun Massage Watson to get off of that kind of,
Good
boat.
pun.
They wanted to
Solid pun.
Yeah, thank
Good
you.
get off pun. Love it. Love it. Love it.
And then we have the Vikings with JJ McCarthy, if you believe in him.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing to believe in.
Kevin
He's out.
O'Connell.
That's a no. That's a no from Will.
Kevin O'Connell, who I love as a head coach. I think he's one of the best head coaches in the NFL currently. They're kind of under the radar. Their fan base is super strong and across all of America, but they're not like a hype organization, if that makes sense. And then my number one suggestion, albeit unpopular, but again, I'm just presenting my information and my opinion on the matter, is the Falcons. With Michael Penix Jr. and Raheem Morris, who I love Raheem Morris. I loved him when he was with the Bucks. I thought he got a bad rap there. But they're a very under-the-radar team right now. And if you can get behind an under-the-radar team, I don't know. I think it's pretty sick. Plus, it's kind of fun that there's 2 lefty quarterbacks that have played for the organization that both have one character letter away from a phallic name. So that's cool. And I think they have cool team history. It's kind of, they're kind of a grubby team, a little bit under the radar.
Real scrappy dog fighty team.
They fight dirty. They got that dog in them, if you know what I mean. So that's my information. That's my soliloquy. What are your guys' thoughts? I don't know if you could see the vein in my neck that was popping because I was rolling.
The only thing that gives me any sort of hesitation with the Falcons is being associated with 28-3. That's
you weren't
that's
part
the
of
only
that.
thing.
You weren't part of that, so I don't know.
I don't think
but
that's not even a bad thing. There's way worse. I feel like that's like, yeah, they screwed that up, but it wasn't like some Manti Te'o stuff where it's like, dude, this is just embarrassing for you. Some Jerry Jones stuff where it's like, dude, don't make me try to defend this at work. Like, don't make me do that.
Yeah. So those are the teams that I've presented. Obviously, you have your honorable mentions,
here.
but yes, let's hear it, Will.
So you recommended AFC West teams for Avery. Why specifically not
Yeah.
for Joel and I?
I'm better
'Cause-
than you.
Well, one, I don't want to look at you guys as enemies. Avery, he'll probably drop his team in 5 years anyways, so
Ooh.
we'll see how long he sticks with it.
All
But
right, well, I can't take any of Lincoln's advice because it's not real, genuine advice. It's just, you could play around with this toy here for a bit.
fully, though, I can see Avery opposing me and being an AFC West foe to me. However, I don't want all 3 of you as AFC West foes to me.
I don't think about any of you guys nearly enough to care enough to pick a team that you guys oppose. It's like, just...
That's fair. That's fair. Again, Avery is the nomad.
That's fair.
I'll stick with a team. That's why I haven't chosen a team. And the big thing for me is you mentioned current players. I don't give a rat's about current players. This is the team that my children will root for. Like Danny Dimes, like he'll be gone in 2 years max. Like all of these guys, even like with the Broncos. I love Bo Nix, like Sean Payton. I'm like, yeah, I don't expect them to be there for the next 10 years. So for a lot of this, it's more about the visuals for me. I'm like, hey, what kind of gear do I want to wear? I don't want to wear something dumb, but
You gotta look pretty.
a little bit is proximity. The other thing is whatever team is doing well right now. I would say that right now, being honest, I have no intention of joining the Chiefs, so I'm just using this as an example. But if I wanted to join the Chiefs fandom right now, I mean, I guess that's technically a bandwagon. I mean, if I was a new football fan and I joined the Chiefs, that's like, okay, just because, they're good. But if you've been watching it, it's like, dude, you're entering at the tail end of this dynasty unless it, keeps going. But historically, 3 or 4, championships is kind of like, yeah, and then now contracts get in the way and egos get in there. So I'm like, if I join the Chiefs, I mean, I'm basically I'm joining it Sunday afternoon and then Monday's tomorrow. Like, that's kind of the way I see it.
Potentially, yeah.
I mean, and that's the thing. I wish all the best, and like, I don't want, the teams to, fall apart and stuff, but that's usually professional sports. That's what happens.
Yeah.
So, like, if I choose a team, that's why I haven't. Because I'm like, I don't want to root for someone. I love these players. They trade them to the Favre. You trade them to Minnesota. I'm like, what? I would hate this. If I was really into this, football team, if I love Brett Favre and I see him go to the Vikings, I'm like, dude, don't put me through that. And
I believe it's Favre, but yes, point taken.
Favre, yeah. But that, I just want to say that the current players has very little bearing. It's more about location, like just design, colors, logo, and then general organization, so I can see kind of where they're going. I mean, like, the Chiefs organization looks fantastic. Did it look fantastic before they got Mahomes or hired Andy Reid? Like, not necessarily. I mean, maybe they weren't troublesome, but no one would go out and say the Chiefs organization is superb. It's like, well, they had success, and now you can tell, there's no infighting. There's no ridiculous decisions. They're keeping the drama low. I'm like, that is genuinely impressive. I mean, it's like more like, I don't know how you've always been, but during this era, you've been very good at, like, keeping everything intact.
I mean, I've always said Patrick Mahomes' greatest strength is the fact that he's kept his wife and his brother relatively quiet for like.
Get your house in order.
There was a part of me that
Am I
wondered
wrong?
if this whole Taylor Swift thing was set up just to get Britney and Jackson to shut the hell up. Like,
No,
can we get them?
If so, the sacrifice was worth it.
Yeah, can we get them off the field? Can we get them not doing TikTok dances on a memorial? Can we get her to stop pouring champagne over all of the fans? Can we get her and him out of the news? Taylor, you're up. To Travis, sorry, you're up. And so,
It's all good.
yeah, I don't know. What are your Avery and
Joel? You've been awfully quiet. What do you think?
Well, I'm not going to say which team, but I will say this, and then we'll move on to the next segment. One of the 4 teams that you said, I am strongly, strongly considering. I will not say which one, but before you told me that, it was already a team that I am very strongly considering.
Okay.
So I appreciate you giving us your feedback, and I will take that into consideration.
Very good.
So if you're not going to give us anything, Joel, give the chat some little bites to eat. Give us some crumbs at least.
You have a 25% chance. He just said one of the 4 teams. And we all know it's not J.J. McCarthy or any team that ever would support that guy.
I don't know that. I know that that's not the case for you. I don't know about Joel.
Wait, actually, a clarifying question. Are all 3 of you agreeing on one team?
No.
Or are you choosing
Not
your own path?
necessarily.
It could land that way.
Yeah.
It could land that
We
way.
don't- we don't know
Choose
yet.
your own adventure route here.
Not on purpose. We're not going to land on the same team on purpose anyway.
There's pros and cons to both. We also don't want to become a podcast that's now like a fan podcast of a team.
Totally.
So it's a little different.
And before we switch off, before we switch off that real quick, I like what you said, Avery. This is what my kids are in a root for. Like, I sat down with my wife and we went over all 32 NFL teams, and we looked at the logo, and we looked at their color schemes, and we looked at all of these things. Like, what do you think about this? Do you like this logo? Do you like these colors? And there were some, she's like, this looks dumb. Dolphins, I'm looking at you. That mint bluey thing and that orange, that's child's play. Stop doing that garbage. And so, like, it is a family affair in this house. And I think it's going to come down to, I have 3 or 4 teams here, and I asked my son, which one of these do you like best? And that's just kind of what we go with.
And he keeps pointing to that orange helmet, and you're like, stop. Son, stop.
The Browns will not be up there.
Quit it.
Yeah.
I actually did the same thing.
I love them, Dad. Don't take them away from me.
I actually did the same thing with my son. I showed him a picture of all the NFL logos, and I said, which of these 3 do you like the best? And he picked like 12 of them, but he, yeah.
Do you pick some bad ones?
To your guys' point of picking a team now that your kids will root for, you almost need a little bit of an origin story to defend your fan base or defend your switch over, right?
This is it.
Mine is Tanner Morgan's Madden 2000 that I played on the N64. That was what got me to be a Chiefs fan because I did a random team and it was the Chiefs, and they had Priest Holmes and Tony Gonzalez and Dante Hall and an all-pro offensive line, and I destroyed my buddy with them, Eli Bond. And then I was like, oh, cool, this team must be really good. I know nothing about football, but that was like what got me to like them, right? You have to have a grab, you have to have a hook, you have to be attracted to the team, as we said, which is part of why maybe I'm actually kind of taking back the Vikings, because that yellow and purple,
that purple is terrible.
I do love their iced white jerseys, though. Those are sweet.
But the Bengals have the same Snow Tiger jerseys, and those are sick.
Yeah, but I'm not going to recommend Joe Burrow.
Nobody recommends him. He's out.
And I'm not going to recommend the Raiders because Mark Davis's haircut still sucks.
That is terrible. It's the biggest drawback from the Raiders is the ownership.
I look forward to it at the end of every episode, Will.
It's like, dude, if you can't get the right haircut, how can we trust you to get the right team? Dude,
you're not wrong.
Dude, if Brock Bowers can grow a better haircut than Mark Davis, then...
All right. So let's move on to our next segment here. So we're going to do the panic meter for 0-2 teams. And so there are currently 10 NFL teams that are 0-2. We've got the Chiefs, Texans, Saints, Jets, Dolphins, Panthers, Bears, Browns, Titans, and Giants. We are going to rank their panic meters on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being no panic at all and 10 being extreme panic. And we're not going to rank all of their panic meters because for the Saints, we don't need to rank the panic meter because everybody thought they were going to suck anyway, so there's no panic.
No one's panicking over the suckiness.
Exactly. But there are 3 teams that we're going to rank the panic meters for. And what I would like to do is, since there's 3 of you, I would like to have each of you take the lead on one of these teams. Obviously, I'm going to start with Lincoln and give him the lead with the Chiefs because he is a Chiefs fan. So, Lincoln, on a scale of 0 to 10, what is the panic meter for the Chiefs right now?
Like 0 to 10 is a 3, as in there's concern. This is the first time the Chiefs have been 0-2. We play the Giants this week, so that instills a little more confidence. If we lose to the Giants, panic meter's a 9. Like we're stressing out here. However, compared to some of the other 0-2 teams that are considered potential playoff bound teams, and looking at our division, like, you know, obviously we got the Chargers who look really good right now. The Raiders and Broncos are both 1-1, but you're not overly scared. Like, there's still going to be tough games. There's a long rest of the season. The Chiefs can build themselves back up, win some divisional games, whatever it is, blah, blah, blah. But with missing our 2 top wide receivers, and everybody can say it's about injuries and about, blah, 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 whatever, fill in the blank excuse you want to use, I'm not concerned in totality of where the Chiefs are heading, but I am frustrated, if that makes sense.
It does. One thing I don't understand, and maybe you can shed some light on this a little bit, Lincoln, is I feel like the Chiefs are trying to force the ball down the field too much. Like I see Patrick Mahomes doing overthrows and just his passes don't look as good as they were before. And maybe it's because their guys are hurt. I don't know. But I feel like I said this on a TikTok live that Will and I did when somebody asked us about Travis Kelce. Like, why don't they just do short, quick passes to Travis Kelce? Because the Eagles wrecked them in the Super Bowl. Everybody knows that. And it's the same thing. Like, it wasn't as bad this time around, but they still lost. But why don't they just do short, quick passes? Like, I feel like that's like what Tom Brady did when he was going against a tough defense. It was just short, quick passes, and then he ended up winning the game because he's not sitting back there waiting to be sacked. Like, and he's not making the overthrows of his receivers downfield because he's not trying to force it downfield. To me, it feels like the Chiefs are trying to force the ball down the field, and maybe it's because they think Xavier Worthy's still there and he's not. But I don't know the exact reason, but it feels like they're forcing the ball down the field when I feel like they should be just doing shorter, quicker passes, and it would be more efficient.
You're correct. They are forcing the ball down the field. And that's because if you watch all 22, the Chiefs have the distance that the safeties are back compared to the Chiefs and compared to the rest of the NFL. It's like almost a standard deviation closer to the line of scrimmage. And so the safeties are just creeping up because they know they're just trying to hit Juju across the middle, Kelsey on short little, crossers on the inside, running back screens, blah, blah, blah. They're trying to push the ball down the field to get those safeties to back up a little bit. Granted, they don't have Xavier Worthy, and Hollywood Brown is not as much of a field stretcher as I thought he was going to be. But they're throwing the ball to Tyquan Thornton, who's made a few plays, even though Patrick Mahomes has missed him a few times. But, I mean, you have to push the ball. You have to show that you're willing to push the ball to just get teams to watch that and then adjust their game plan accordingly, right? Because if you just throw dink and dunks, which is what the Chiefs did the last 2 seasons, the Eagles in the Super Bowl, they didn't have anybody deep. They just played everything super short. And guess what? They rushed 4. They played a shallow drop coverage, and the Chiefs had nothing to do with it. There was no openings. They didn't hardly play any man. You couldn't run any man beaters off of it. They dropped 7 in coverage every single down, like just directly 7 yards from the line of scrimmage. Chiefs had nowhere to go with the ball. And with a good tackling team like the Eagles, they rallied and got on every single pass, every single ball carrier. There was nothing. Granted, I also think part of it is that our running game sucks with Kareem Hunt, and Pacheco just does not look like he's got it. He looks like he's not as angry at the ground as he used to be, which is unfortunate. But honestly, and I hate to say this because I know how homerish this sounds, when we get Rashee Rice back after his suspension, which, why do we have these guys that just, why do we take these problem characters and we smooth them over and we make it work mostly, and then he drives Lamborghini into the back of somebody's car 120 miles an hour? I don't know. But when we get Rashee Rice back, I think that's going to add a huge dynamic on top of Kelsey. It's going to take Juju off the field. It'll be a better complement to Hollywood Brown. And I believe Xavier Worthy is supposed to come back this week, if not next week for sure. Adding, those two dynamics in just here a few weeks, I think that'll open up the middle of the field because you're going to have different levels of the field opened up there. Because right now, Kelsey can't go more than 5-7 yards down the field. And Juju can't do the same either.
You think Kelsey retires after this year?
100%. Yep.
He's getting married. He's got to focus on that.
And conspiracy, I think that they're planning on having a child soon.
Dude, who's
that's not a conspiracy. That's just natural,
maybe not conspiracy, but that's just
a man loves a woman.
Like before they get married or after they get married sometime after?
I probably a questionable timeline.
Ooh,
to mess with Butker, they're going to do it before.
We rush a quick
We're going to be like, take that, Butker.
No, I think they want to start having kids, but I think they want to get married first, and so I know that he's not concerned about that. I know that that's taking up a huge focus of his life. I don't know why we're talking about this anymore. Next 0-2 team.
I love talking about Travis Kelce's crotch. What are you talking about?
He's sick of wearing a rubber, man.
Dude, who's not, though? Come on. Come on.
Oh,
can we hurry up and get this ceremony over?
I'd rather have it than not. Let's just say that.
Just do what I did and go get snipped. Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap. Right? Shout out Michael Scott.
It's still 6 balls. It's still 6 balls.
It is. They're both still there, but they just don't function.
They
the way
could
they
work
used to.
if they needed to, if we chose.
I don't know
how the episodes that I'm on, we just go off the rails.
I don't know. I smelt the burning. I don't think they work anymore.
Oh no!
Every man who's had a vasectomy knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's about time. We've had a lot of 3 guys on this show. We have not had a lot of balls talk, and I'm glad we're finally doing it.
There's some fans that are like, look,
to the balls.
The testicular discussions have been lacking for sure. You guys keep talking about football, which is fine, but at some point, let's circle back.
I mean, they're the unsung hero They are the undercarriage that keeps us going.
Okay, I'm going to reel us back in here. Okay.
The seed of life.
So since 2020, when the NFL started having 7 playoff teams, there has been 42 teams that have started 0-2, and only 5 of those teams have made the playoffs, which is 11.9%. Yep, 11.9%. 3 of those 5 teams that started 0-2 made the playoffs last season, which is the Broncos, the Rams, and the Ravens. So just because the Chiefs are 0-2, it does not mean that they are not going to make the playoffs. I mean, it doesn't mean they're going to make the playoffs either, but it doesn't mean they're not going to make the playoffs. I think, like you said, Lincoln, if they lose to the Giants, then there's some extreme panic there. But I personally ranked their panic meter as a 5 just because it's right in the middle. I feel like people have thought about the possibility of the Chiefs not making the playoffs, but also they're still confident that the team will make the playoffs. So that's why I ranked them as a 5.
It's just so unusual. However, there's also, 37% of teams that have started 2-0 have missed the playoffs as well. So,
question for you, Lincoln. You guys have the Giants next, and let's just say you win that one in New York. Then you're home against the Ravens. Let's say you lose that one. Now you're 1-3. Does your panic meter move at all?
Panic meter definitely. I mean, losing to the Ravens is almost like expected. And then we have the Jags and then the Lions. So it's like we're not.
You go like easy, hard, easy, hard,
schedule.
easy, hard throughout the entire season.
Which, by the way, that's followed by the Lions. Is followed by the Raiders, Commanders, Bills, and Broncos.
And then the Colts, who are currently undefeated.
Correct. Who have not punted yet this season.
At all. First team to ever do it through 2 games.
That's wild.
It's crazy. So, yeah, I mean, we knew this was going to be a tough schedule. I think if the Chiefs end up as a wild card team, I'm not going to be mad about it. I would obviously rather win the division to keep our streak going, but panic meter right now is at a 3. If we lose to the Giants, that's jumping up to a 9, and if we lose to the Ravens, you'll see Chiefs Kingdom at like DEFCON 3. You know?
What would the chances be of making the playoffs if they lose
at
to the
0-4? I think. Drops down to like 2%.
3.
It's like 2%.
Only 2. Okay, I thought it would have been more for some reason.
It's only happened like 4 times in history. And if
we have an extra game this year or this era of the NFL to
there's
recover
also
from.
More teams in the playoffs is 14 now rather than 12.
Correct.
Well, let's just say worst comes to worst, you guys go 0-4. Do the Chiefs have a fire sale? Are they starting to trade people?
No.
I mean, you don't really. I don't want to sound mean about it, but you don't really have a lot of resources to trade. You guys are kind of homegrown. Correct. Or like nearing the end of their NFL life. Like Juju's probably not going to be on another team or a valuable player on another team. Hollywood Brown could be a piece on another team, but probably not going anywhere. These guys are
on an expiring
fine.
Deal.
Yeah, even Xavier Worthy, you're not going to. There's only so much you're going to put up with on another team because you guys drafted Xavier Worthy, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, and so
First round.
So there's just not. He'll go to another team, but what kind of level is he going to play at there? And so
I would even take Mahomes at this point.
That's your one piece that you're probably not going to trade. I mean, you got Chris Jones. He'll probably play somewhere else. Well, no, Jerry wouldn't do it. Although he would.
He wouldn't trade Patrick?
He would get Mahomes and then still start Dak.
Because he's paying him more.
Because 2 is better than 1.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that there's
is better than what?
You give up all four first-round picks.
That's just math, baby.
No, I don't think, and that's part of my recommendation in teams for you is the organizational structure, right? The Chiefs have a confident organization that they're not going to panic, at least not as much as the fan base is, if they do start 0-4, right? They're going to, ready the ship. They're going to turn to Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Andy Reid as their leadership and, do what they need to do. Is it going to be easy? No. Or am I confident right now? A little nervous, but you roll with it.
There's no way that the Chiefs are starting 0-4. If the Cowboys can beat the Giants, the Chiefs are beating the Giants.
Cowboys should not have beat the Giants.
If the Cowboys can do it, the Chiefs are going to do it.
Hey, Cowboys put up a fight the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
Let's hope every team at least put up a fight.
So
I think the
Fair.
Hey, I didn't have the Chiefs in my playoffs.
Did you see the Ravens
That's
game?
true, you didn't.
I mean, it was
told you
rushed.
you'd be the most right, but
It was rushed, but it was that's just the way the cookie crumbled there.
yeah. And that was the thing. I mean, you can take one moment out of every single game, but if Travis Kelce makes that catch and scores a touchdown, the Chiefs go from down 7 on that pick 6, or almost pick 6, and then a touchdown scored right afterwards, to up 7, changes the complete next outcome of the game. Then you don't have the whole tush-push BS that I'm so sick of. I wasn't sick of it until this last week, and now I'm sick of it because you can't officiate it. I didn't care about the play before. I was like, yeah, if you're tougher than us, then great. You deserve to get the extra yard. However, when you're cheating doing it and you can't actually officiate it, that's where I start having problems.
Even like the head guy was like on TV, he said, "I'm sick of this play."
That was my story yesterday, literally.
I have no dog in this fight because I didn't care about either team, but I remember watching that and be like, I don't want to see another tush push. Like they get like 3rd and 1, I'm like, okay, I almost want to like skip ahead. Like,
yeah, I'm like, can we just like give them the free first down?
Yeah,
because I don't want to
give them
deal
a first
with
down, give them a yard to first down. Let's keep going. I don't want.
Yeah. If you're about to tackle Saquon at like a yard short, just pull him an extra yard and give him the first down. I don't care. Like, it's so annoying. It's not a football play.
I wonder what Eagles fans think of that, because I can see obviously most of them will be like, "We love it, we love it," and I'm like, "Yeah." But like,
but have you ever talked to a rational Eagles fan?
It's like how would you feel if that kept happening to you? Like, do you enjoy that? Just this like, well, everyone can do it. It's like, yeah, you guys are.
Yeah, that's why as a Chiefs fan, I was like able to brag because I was like, nobody can do what Mahomes is doing, and now quarterbacks can do. But like at that point when Mahomes is doing it, I was like, yeah, nobody can do it. So it's like super fun to have that advantage. Tush push is like, okay, this is just like ridiculous. But
all right, let's move on to our next team, and I'm gonna have Will take the lead on this one because it is Will's favorite team, the Chicago Bears.
The Bears.
Oh, dear.
So, Will, what is the panic meter for the Chicago Bears right now?
I don't know. I don't know if it's that high unless you're in Chicago. If you're a Bears fan that doesn't live in Chicago, you're like, this is where we expected to be at. Yeah, we had Ben Johnson, but we played the Lions and the Packers. Did we really expect to beat either of those teams? I guess they were home versus Lions, but even home versus Lions, you can't. Even Bear Down Live, when we had him on, he said they were going to lose that Lions game. He thought they were going to beat the Packers. He also said that.
I remember him saying they were going undefeated, though. Actually,
well, that when we did the
until we made him do it game by game.
We did the week by week thing.
Then they came out to 13-4.
Yeah, which was bonkers. But hey, you can win 13 of your next 15. That's not going to happen. I mean, it's got to be high, right? You expected Ben Johnson to come in and be the guy. We've got Ben Johnson now. We can do the thing. And then you realize that Ben Johnson doesn't coach defense, which is why the Lions are hanging 52 on you and throwing the ball like they are down by 52 in the third quarter and fourth quarter. And then you get some real Pop Warner Bowl crap when Dan Campbell's apologizing in his post-game press conference. And so I think it's got to be high because they think you got your guy, Caleb Williams. You got your coach, Ben Johnson. You've got your pieces in place. You've got the running back you thought you had. You've got your receivers. They're not that. I don't think they're that injured right now. They've got a pretty healthy team, and they still are not putting it together. And Caleb Williams looks worse than last year. I don't know if that's possible because he looked bad last year. Is it 4,000 yards the Bears have never had a passer, or is it 3,000?
Yeah.
So
4,000.
So a lot of people were saying
would be wild.
Would be wild. They did have Jay Cutler. Everyone thought, oh, this is the year that Caleb Williams should be a 4,000-yard passer. He should be just like he was at not Ohio State, at Oklahoma. USC wasn't as good, but Oklahoma he was pretty good. We've got our guy, Heisman Trophy winner, number 1 overall pick, and he's been straight trash. He's been bad. That team is bad, and if you. Unfortunately, most irrational fans go into every single year thinking, this is our year, we're going to do good this year, and then you start off getting bodied twice in a row by divisional rivals. And I don't know.
I mean, they were in the Vikings game. They just pissed their pants and let the Vikings win it. But
they put the Vikings and the Packers. That's right. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's another good point. You got down to the fourth quarter, you were beating the Vikings, and all of a sudden you let old broke leg J.J. McCarthy win. He came back and win. This guy who sat out an entire year, and then now, just not just talk crap about J.J. McCarthy, although I will never miss an opportunity. He's played 8 quarters of football, won't play for the next 2 to 4 weeks, probably be 4 for being honest. He has had 1 good quarter of 8 quarters. He's played 8 quarters of football, 1 of them has been good, and it was the 4th quarter against the Bears. So you stopped him for 3 quarters, and then you just stopped playing defense. And you stopped playing offense because you couldn't do anything there either. Although they could play offense. It was a back and forth 4th quarter. This Bears team is bad, and they're going to keep being bad. I would say the panic meter should be high if you're irrational, but this is where you should expect to be if you're a Bears fan. So it should be in the middle. This is what we expected.
Yeah. To that point, everybody in the non-Bears fandom expected the Vikings to be solid this year, expected the Lions to be an NFC contender this year, right? So starting out losing those games is not unrealistic or not like it's not like, oh my gosh, they lost to the Saints and the Panthers. Like, no, it's not unrealistic to say that you expected those losses. I think it's the way that they lost them that is probably frustrating Bears fans the most.
Yeah.
And it's the fact that, there's 2 pieces of it. Ben Johnson was thought to be like this mastermind, right? He needed a cerebral quarterback like Jared Goff to actually execute his offense, whereas we're now learning very quickly that Caleb Williams is not a cerebral quarterback. He's very talented physically. He's a freak, but he's not cerebral. He doesn't know how to watch film. Like that was a storyline that came out this offseason. It's like he doesn't know how to watch film. He's making excuses. Some guy's writing a book about him, and then it was like 31 anonymous coaches came out and talked about how terrible of a off the field quarterback he
Aren't
is.
there 32?
Well, no, it's like quarterback coaches and
Okay.
Yeah.
They all came out were anonymous. Like that's all right.
yeah,
Everyone except
like
Ben Johnson.
it's like former like college coaches and like ancillary coaches for the Bears last year because they cleaned house pretty much. And also it's the defense. They thought that the defense was going to be kind of the like steady ship for them because their defense was actually really solid the last 2 seasons. Like I want to say they finished in like the top 5 in like most major statistics last year, especially DVOA over the back half of the season. So they expected the defense to pick that up, and then you blow 52 to the Lions. Like, what are we doing?
So I talked to one of my friends from Cheesehead and the Bear podcast, and his name's Brennan, so shout out Brennan. I texted him and I asked him what the panic meter was for the Chicago Bears, and I asked him to give me a panic meter for this season and long term. And so this season he said 8, long term he said 5. And I agree, and I want to give a comparison to give Bears fans kind of a long-term outlook for their team. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare Jared Goff to Caleb Williams, and then I'm going to compare the Lions to the Bears. So Jared Goff was drafted in 2016, number 1 overall to the Rams. His first season, he was not very good at all. He was not very good. Then his next season, Sean McVay comes in. He's a little bit better, but he still wasn't on the level of what you want from a franchise quarterback who was drafted number 1 overall. It wasn't until 2018, his second year with Sean McVay, that he took the Rams to the Super Bowl. That was the year that Jared Goff really started to take off in his career. Now, to compare the Lions to the Bears, the first season that Ben Johnson was with the Lions as offensive coordinator, they went 9-8 and they did not make the playoffs. It was not until the second season that Ben Johnson was the offensive coordinator that the Lions were really, really good. And so I've said this before and I'll say it again. It's going to take time for Ben Johnson to find all the right pieces for the Bears to replicate what he had with the Lions. They did make a lot of nice moves in the offseason. They had a nice draft. They made a lot of good moves in free agency. Bringing in Ben Johnson as a head coach was huge, but it's going to take time for Ben Johnson to put in place what he wants to put in place. It's not going to happen right away. So with Jared Goff compared to Caleb Williams, it's going to take time for Caleb Williams to understand what Ben Johnson wants him to do, just like it took time for Jared Goff to understand what Sean McVay wanted him to do. And when he understood that, he was really good. And then same thing with the Lions and Bears. It took time for Ben Johnson to get the Lions to where they wanted to be, and it's going to take time for him to get the Bears to where they want to be. So long-term outlook, I think the panic meter is a 5, but I do think this season that Bears fans are probably panicking because of all the hype that was surrounding this team.
I mean, also would you rather have a first-year coach of the year in Matt Nagy and then have it tank from there, or would you rather build and have a kind of rough first year and then, Ben Johnson establishes himself more and more in the organization, quarterback, offense, scheme, everything, and have a rough first year and then build from there? I think I'd take that side, but
yeah.
So let's move. Matt Nagy sucks.
All right, so let's move on to our third team here, which is the Houston Texans. And so, Avery, I'll have you take the lead on this one. What's the panic meter for the Houston Texans right now?
I would say probably, I'd say probably 5. I mean, they were 10-7 the past, I think, like 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Then again, though, I kind of see this, like, I would have thought Lincoln would have given a higher grade. I understand he's a fan, but I guess I kind of see it compared to, like, what success they expect. And I feel like because the Chiefs are the Chiefs, because I agree that, like, a 3 is, like, that's probably accurate, because I wouldn't be super concerned. It's like, okay, we just started. There's plenty of time to correct the ship. But also, it's like, okay, like, we should be, like, better than this. Like, we've been an established team. I feel like the Texans have just perpetually just been right on the cusp, just, like, good enough to get a playoff berth, but not bad enough to get a good draft pick, and they just sit in that zone. I don't think they look very good at all, so I would kind of panic a bit. They can't get a first down to save their life. Maybe that will change. I don't know, but it doesn't look great. I've not been a fan of C.J. Stroud. Like, I feel like he's been overhyped for a while. I think he had some of that kind of rookie success, kind of that Dak and Zeke. Just call him Deke now. That rookie year, kind of like, oh yeah, we're off to a hot start until everyone, figures us out. I just don't think he looks like. I mean, he looks like a starter, but not anyone I would trade for or anything.
After his rookie season, he looked like an all-pro quarterback, and now he looks like an average quarterback.
Yeah, and I'm also I'm a quarterback apologist to a degree. Like, I can tell, okay, like, if your line isn't good, if your receivers aren't catching the ball, if they hit them in both of their hands and it drops, I'm like, okay. Or if they tip it, they're running their route, they put their hand up and just set the ball up like a volleyball player to a DB, and it's a pick, and I'm like, okay, what are you doing? That being said, that is not C.J. Stroud. I just don't think he's that good. I think other quarterbacks have those issues where it's not really their fault. Burrow comes to mind.
Cam Ward recently.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, dude, give the man a chance here. I just see him running for his life on every highlight play. Just Burrow, just constantly.
Yeah, they were supposed to improve his offensive line, and they didn't. Like,
no, they did not.
I mean, they scored 9 points against the Rams and 19 points against the Bucks. Their defense, held the Rams to 14 points, held the Bucks to 20 with kind of a game-winning drive there. So, like, their defense is still solid, and I love DeMeco Ryans. I think he's such a solid head coach. Like, DeMeco Ryans with the Chiefs head coach, I'd be stoked because I know my defense is going to be solid regardless. And they've got key defenders, or they've got a great secondary. They've got Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson rushing off the edge. Like, they've got good pieces in place. It's all on C.J. Stroud right now. And I think C.J. Stroud is feeling a lot of that pressure and trying to maybe overperform, so he's kind of pushing things.
Yeah.
With the Colts being 2-0, I'd be like, wait, what's going on? Like, did I have a bad dream about this or something like that? But with the soft division, I don't know if they should be panicking too much because they do get to play the Colts twice, the Jaguars twice, and the Titans twice. Those are pretty soft wins. I mean, no win is easy in the NFL, but those are pretty soft wins in comparison to the Broncos and the Chargers, right? Like, yeah. So the odds of them winning their division are high. However, I don't think that if somebody else wins the division that they are going to take a wild card spot. I think there are too many good teams in the NFC North the AFC North and the AFC West that I don't think there's extra space for two teams in the AFC South.
The other thing is the Texans have the Jags and then the Titans coming up next.
Yep.
And I feel like that is after those two games, I think we'll kind of know.
You better get
where they're
right.
at.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't lose these games. These are the games you're supposed to win to pad your record after you lose to the real teams.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll skip to our last segment here, and just for the sake of time, so what we were going to do is we're each going to do one fantasy football week 3 start and sit, but I think for the sake of time, we'll kind of cut it in half. So we'll do 2 of us will give a week 3 start, and 2 of us will give a week 3 sit. So is there anyone who would like to do the starts? Avery, okay, and
I get to choose the other start.
I can.
Okay.
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 It
Go
doesn't
for it.
matter.
So I choose. That's why it's you, because I chose you. That's why.
Wait, who
It's
did you
important
choose?
to
Me? Who did you choose?
Yeah, I choose Joel to start in your fantasy. No, just for you to be the other starter. The guy who's
Okay,
talking about
so Avery and I will do the week 3 starts, and then Will and Lincoln will do the week 3 sits. All right, so Avery, take it away. Give us your week 3 fantasy football start.
I was gonna say Jake Browning, but because
Yo.
I think after all those picks he threw, I think he comes in right. But I'm gonna go with Danny Dimes. I think at this point,
It's a good one.
I mean, and I'm looking at this from our unique perspective as fantasy owners of Dak Prescott and Michael Penix. It's one of those things where like, look, Dak could go off, but if we start him, he's not going to do well. And if we play Penix, he's not going to do well. And I feel like Danny Dimes might be one of those guys where as soon as you pick him up, as soon as you start him, every defense is going to figure him out. And I'm hoping that New York was the issue here and that he's actually a really good quarterback and we just haven't seen it. But I'd still pick him up. I think that guy's their offense is clearly rolling fantasy-wise. I think he's looking like a good pick.
I'll just say this about Daniel Jones. I told myself that if he could repeat his success from week 1 against the Broncos defense, that I would start to believe. Because we have seen Daniel Jones have good fantasy games in the past.
You
But
would
then
start to think about potentially believing in him?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Preliminarily, yes.
Yeah. Because we have seen him have really good fantasy games in the past, but then it just fades away into nothing. And so we've seen this before, but I feel like this is a much better situation that he's in now. He's only been sacked 1 time in each game, and I don't remember exactly what year it was, but I believe in 2023, the Giants allowed 85 sacks, which is insane. And so he was just getting absolutely wrecked when he was with the Giants. And you can kind of see that a little bit now with Russell Wilson. Like, he's running for his life out there. That offensive line is not good. And so with an actual legit offensive line, he is doing very well. And so that's one of the biggest reasons why I think he can continue to have a success at least a little bit longer than he's had in the past.
I credit the Ursay woman who's over there
Charlie?
cracking the whip on the sideline, making sure those boys know what they're doing. She's sitting there taking notes
her
on that
notes.
notepad, dude.
She's been doing that for years. I don't know if you know that
She
or
has been,
not. She's been doing that for a long time. But now that Jim
I just
nobody
love that
cared.
they're bringing
Right now.
attention to it now.
Yeah, 'cause-
Has she realized that they know what they're doing yet, or is she still trying to figure it out?
So Jim Irsay passed away. Rest in peace, Jim
Yeah,
Irsay. So now the 3 Irsay daughters, Carly, I don't know all their names.
Yeah, it does. No one cares.
They are now running the team, all 3 of them. And she has been the one part, and she's been on the field for years now. It's been multiple years that she has had a headset on and is on the field. Because she has to know that her coaches are making the right call. Allegedly, she's not stepping in Jerry Jones style and saying, no, run right here or pass right here. But she is listening in to make sure her coaches know what they're talking about.
Okay, I have 2 questions. The first is, does she have any say before the play actually happens?
No.
Or is she simply monitoring it?
No, she's simply
And if
listening
she is
in.
simply monitoring it, why doesn't she just watch the game? We can all see what the coach called. Why do you need to hear it beforehand? Is it like Well,
because if you're right there and the coach makes a bad play or a bad call or does something else, you get to walk your ass up to him and ream him right then.
Why does Tom Brady wear a headset in the coach's booth when he's a minor or a partial owner of the Raiders?
Owner.
Well, there's a lot more reasons that's. I mean, I think he could give some. I just feel like with this moment, it's like, hey, you're listening to the calls. Like, is it just like, I know I can see the call on the field. I just want to know who made the call. Was it the coordinator? Was it the coach? And how were you confident about it?
It's also about the communication.
You know what you're talking about?
She wants to hear the communication happening. She doesn't want to see the play. It's not just seeing the play happen.
Okay.
It's hearing the communication, which you could do from anywhere. But I'm sure being down on the field, it's just a different aspect to it. The same reason why Jerry Jones used to go down the field. He doesn't do it as much anymore, but like the last 5 minutes of every game, Jerry used to stand there on the sideline right next to the head coaches. It used to piss me off every single week. It's like, get your behind back in your box. Trip. It is. It's exactly what it is. I think it's different from Carly Ursay, though. I don't know why I just view it as different from her.
Someone described her as striking. And when I heard that term, I was like, is she like pretty? No, she is striking.
She's striking, dude.
Yeah, she's very striking.
That's a great way to describe her. That's how
long eyebrows.
Striking, dude.
All right. Anyways, Lincoln, give us your Week 3 fantasy football sit of the week.
I'm gonna bring my Chiefs insight. Isaiah Pacheco is an easy sit this week, sadly, against the Giants D-line, which low-key is like one of the best D-lines in the NFL, and with the Chiefs running back room being as convoluted as it is, this is an easy sit, sadly. I've got him in both my leagues, which is lame. And unfortunately, until we can actually see it, I gotta say to bench my guy Bill Krosky. He's the running back for the Commanders. The dude can speak Braille, and I heard he once killed 2 stones with 1 bird. Like, he is a menace. I love Bill Krosky, but until we actually see some legitimate stats build up from him, he's got to be a bench for now.
All right. Well, for my Week 3 fantasy football start...
Can I guess?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, it's Cam Scatterboo.
It is not.
It's not. Wow, that legitimately surprises me.
Not against the Chiefs.
It's Jackson Dart. He's putting out a hit on Wilson.
I wish it was Jackson Dart. Okay, so for my Week 3 fantasy football start, I have Bears wide receiver Rome Odunze.
Love it.
And the reason why is because he leads the team in not only targets, but receptions and touchdowns. He's actually the only Bears receiver who has a receiving touchdown in both games. He's the only one who has caught a receiving touchdown for the Bears. And he is playing a Dallas Cowboys defense that just let Russell Wilson throw for 450 yards. 450.
Let Russ cook, bro.
Dallas has allowed the 3rd most passing yards through 2 weeks. And it doesn't matter how you feel about Caleb Williams. If you have Rome Odunze on your fantasy team, start him this week. Because not only has he been the best receiver for that team, he is playing an absolutely awful defense. Absolutely terrible.
Love it. I'm on board. I wish I had him. I got Emeka Buka though, so we starting Emeka all day.
Same.
We have him on both of our teams, and we have started him both weeks.
Love Emeka.
All right, Will, give us your fantasy football Week 3 sit.
I don't like to do this. I don't like to say this out loud. I actually like this player a lot, but he missed all the training camp with the holdout, and he, until, I like Lincoln said with Bill Croxy, until I start seeing production, and I don't think it's going to happen until like week 5, when he finally gets his feet under him, with Jaden Daniels, it's got to be Terry McLaurin. Wow. He had 9 targets last week, brought in 5 balls for 48 yards, which is not horrible, no touchdowns. He had 27 receiving yards the week before, so it is improving week to week in our 2-week sample size. But he's not the main focus in that team right now. All balls run through Debo, and that's truly is a shock to me, because before the season, Debo was out there looking like Grimace from,
dude, he was so
Grimace.
Slow.
We know Grimace. He was on the wrong team. If he was on the Vikings, boy howdy. I'm shocked Debo's getting the production he is, but at the same time, Debo was there all offseason. Debo was there during training camp. He was there to put in the work with Jaden Daniels, and Terry McLaurin wasn't. And so I think it's going to be another couple weeks before Terry and Jaden Daniels get their feet back under them, and all three of them, Jaden, Debo, and Terry, get their synergy together, to use a corporate word. They synergize together and start meshing well. So I think
that was a big word for you. Will.
I know it's a 4-syllable word, synergy. Appreciate that. I just don't think he's worth a start right now. And I get they're playing the Raiders.
Wait, it's only 3.
Good job.
I was trying not to lose.
Oh, shoot.
I had to wait until you started saying the next thing to say it.
Anyways, I would like to give just one more sit for week 3 of fantasy football, because it's related to what Will was saying about McLaurin, and it's related because of who this person is playing. So Will was just mentioned Terry McLaurin, who just played the Green Bay Packers. I would sit in week 3 of fantasy football. I would sit Jerry Jeudy versus the Green Bay Packers. The Packers have played the Lions, and they have played the Commanders, and they made the Lions look like the Browns, and they made the Commanders look very average. Now, the Packers have been not kind to almost every single position for fantasy football, except for tight ends. The only position that they've been kind to is tight ends. So other than that, the running backs have not done well. The wide receivers have not really done very well at all. They have not allowed a running back to rush for, or any player to rush for more than 25 yards in 2 games. And they have not allowed a receiver to get more than 48 yards in 2 games. So if you have any player who's on the Browns, except for a tight end, do not start them against the Packers. All right. So that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Thank you again to Lincoln for coming on and for sharing your thoughts about who we should choose as our new favorite NFL team. We will take that into consideration, and we look forward to any more advice that you have for us in the future.
When's this decision being made?
We have a deadline of before the start of next season. I think it's going to be well before then. But that is
at least a week
that
before.
That is the deadline. Like, you have to have a new team before next season starts.
I imagine,
all right.
I don't want to speak for all of us, but I imagine we all pick during this season. Probably before playoffs, but yeah.
I would think so. But just so that we have some sort of timeline in there. That's what the timeline is.
I'm not patient enough to wait until then. That's my reason.
True.
Not really.
Yeah,
I thought this was like a mid-season acquisition sort of thing.
I think we're trying to draw it out for content. Not many people are watching this part of the podcast, but let's be honest. We're trying to.
If I wait until next season,
thing,
I'm going back to the Cowboys. That's what's going to happen. I got to go before that.
I'm trying to milk
and just deny that this thing ever happened. Just like, I don't know what you're talking about.
What are you talking about?
Not the digital footprint that this is left.
I love Jerry Jones. What do you mean?
And that's what I'm afraid of, Will. We can't go back. This is a full sign the line separation agreement.
We were on a break.
Will, I
goes to another school.
Will, I have 2 things to tell you. One is that that Google Doc that you have.
I looked. I saw what you put in there.
Yeah. So just look at that. Just look at the note I left you on there.
I saw already.
And the second thing is, if you ever think about going back to the Dallas Cowboys, just remember that he said Derrick Henry would not have done well on the Dallas Cowboys.
I'll
just leave it at that. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't
know. I don't.
List
are you doubting Jerry's ability to make that team suck? You guys have such little faith in Jerry that you don't think they can bring on Derrick Henry and still miss the playoffs?
That is on the list of reasons why I'm no longer a fan.
If Will goes back to the Cowboys, you guys will have to rename your team to 3 Guys 5 Balls podcast, because that's what will happen.
One of us.
I can spare both of them. They're both cut. It's fine. So I need them for balance or anything.
that's going to wrap it up for episode 28 of 3 Guys, 6 Balls NFL podcast. Once again, thank you to Lincoln for coming on. And as always, don't forget to keep your balls played with. We'll see you next time.
Bye now, y'all. Also, Mark Davis's haircut still sucks.